we are, round of 16. John Iglesias and Sean Lenning, opening rally. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink, and here it is, Sean Lenning. And John Iglesias, who was a qualifier loser, Iglesias was.
But you know, Dave, we've seen 3 times in the history of the race a qualifier loser defeating a top 8 pro, and 2 of those times were Sean Lenning losing to Anthony Celesto. And Dave, watching Jonathan here in this event and also seeing him for so many years, he hits his best shots falling away, almost like he has to be off his back foot to hit a flat roll.
Referee for this match is Eric Torres. I don't think he's completely mic'd up. 3-0 is the score here early. 1 game to 25, and halftime 15, and now 4-0.
Sean's not moving at all, Dave. I mean, those are not flat crackouts. Those are very playable serves.
Sean takes a timeout, so he's serious here.
I mean, what's going on? I mean, let's take, we can't take an instant replay right now. But Dave, I mean, those are serves that you expect Sean Lenning to dig out and either kill or hit a power shot, and he's nowhere, not even in the camera.
Well, I don't know if you read the bio.
Yeah.
That was recently penned by Sean Lenning on WPHLive.tv, where some of the answers he gave to the interviewer were just, I guess, kind of sums it up. He's just not mentally there right now, and he's just not feeling it.
Okay.
And he'll say it in his own words if you read that bio. I know we have some quotes here that we'll give you, but go to WPHLive.tv and slide your cursor across the players or pro players tab across the top and read some of the responses that Sean Lenning gives, where he's being completely truthful about where he is right now in handball.
Second serve.
John's got a very unique game, Dave, and that's a great shot from Sean. But, you know, John's one of these guys that he doesn't have an incredible backwall game like most of the four-wall pros. He doesn't have an amazing serve, but he's got a lot of hustle, and he's got an unorthodox game in the front court that really throws you off.
Sharp ball.
Well, he plays that hybrid one-wall game, and if you're just not used to someone attacking everything up front, but then doing it with speed and then soft hands, then that's what you're going to get from John Iglesias. But he also knows how to play the deep court game, corner kills.
The score is 4 serves 1.
Revolving doors, ceiling game. He has everything else. That's what makes it so difficult to play him, because you just don't know what he's going to do next.
Well, Sean Lenning, Dave, when asked what his best shot is, said used to be his fly kill. Hopes to get his serve back. So that's
just a strange question to have from one of the elite players in the game.
Yeah.
Used to be the fly kill. I hope to get my serve back. It's telling, I think.
Sharp ball.
I think there's even more telling quotes that he gives us as well. Who has inspired you to play this game at such a high level? And his response was just circumstance. Just the way the cards were dealt, I guess, is what he's saying.
6 plays 1.
Sean Lenning, Dave, is right now inside the Players' Championship bubble. But with a loss here, Dave, and some other factors, I mean, Sean Lenning could very well drop out of that top 8 on the point standings. And who would have ever thought, Dave, that Sean Lenning wouldn't be a part of the Players' Championship, having played in all the events? Could have gotten some long odds on that.
1-6.
Now, John's got a lot of things going for him right now, Dave. This is his home court. This is his 3rd match. He's not tired. This is Sean Lenning's 1st match. Sean flew from Seattle, so he's got 3,000 plus miles under his belt in the last day.
I thought you wanted the shot, though. All right, next time you raise your hands up, I'll just call it. Okay.
No.
Sean knows instantly that that's not the logic. Referee just used the wrong choice of words.
That could have been avoidable there.
2 serves 6.
Referee just used the wrong choice of words. I think the referee's trying to say next time this certain thing happens and you raise your hands, I might give it to you, not will give it to you.
Out. I don't think so. 6 serves 2.
And Dave, these guys have played close matches in the past. at this very event. And how does Sean miss that shot? But John Iglesias led Sean Lenning in 2008, Dave, at this event, 5-1 in the tiebreaker, and lost that match. So you know that John has been competitive here. John's one of those guys that seems to elevate his game against the best players. We've seen him against Chapman, taking him to 21-20.
8 plays 2.
He was 1 point from making the semifinals last year at the Race for 8-2 in Tucson. And
Sean misses another shot right there.
Yeah.
Sean Lenning's been in 6 race finals out of 18 stops, winning 3, losing 3. But it's been a while since Sean has really shown his true colors, and at times it'll be, you know, brilliant play, and we saw that in Tucson just a month back or so against you and Moreno, where he made some just great plays. The old Sean Lenning was there, and then the new Sean Lenning showed up, and he lost both of those matches.
11 plays 2.
That benefit tournament. 11-2 here, 1 game to 25.
I'm really surprised right now, Dave.
It's a point.
We asked Nadia Alvarado earlier, why did you take some of those balls that were blasted at you instead of taking them off the back wall? And he says, because I'm old and I lose my place on the court, which I relate to, and I understand exactly what he's saying. And Nadia says, well, you know, it's happening to you. I mean, the same thing happens to you. And I'm just thinking to myself, actually, no, it isn't happening to you. You're 37, though you are getting older, you're not 40 years old. And it just seems, Dave, one of these days you'll understand why you cut those off. It just, all of a sudden someone hits a ball at your face and the logic says, well, let it go to the back wall, but you can't. Sean actually looks old.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my point, is that
okay.
He's doing the same thing that Nadia's doing,
Yeah.
cutting balls off that he should be taken off the back wall. And
Well,
Sean's only 29.
You know, Dave, the last match took us 5 minutes and 45 seconds to get to halftime. Mondo Ortiz. This is going to be much faster than that. Should John Iglesias win this rally, which he does. 4 minutes and 10 seconds at the half, with John Iglesias leading Sean Lenning 15-2.
Yeah, Dave, that's just because of the scoring format. 15-2, halftime lead now for John Iglesias. 3-minute break. We're going to be back in just a bit for the conclusion of this race. Round of 16 match for Dave Fink, Dave Vincent. Stick around. More here at racefor8.com.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Back to the New York Athletic Club, where Jonathan Iglesias leads Sean Lenning 2-15, going to 25. Iglesias needs 10 points to Sean Lenning's 23. As ridiculous as that sounds. Sean's just spent the time here during the 3-minute break just warming up. Sean's going to definitely have to do something. Change the tide. And that's really what he's trying to do at this moment. Referee has been completely instructed correctly from the staff for the first time, holding off on bringing this match back on live until the exact 3-minute mark. We've seen other referees, Naughty Alvarado Jr., who
So are you telling me that every time in NFL football the halftime is exactly the same length? Every time?
Did I tell you that?
No, I'm asking you.
No.
No. So why does it have to be exactly 3 minutes?
Well, we have
then?
to at least allow our 3-minute commercial block to take place. So
clearly
whether
those
it
are
goes
over.
longer, that fine. But
Sean
don't go
serves.
under, because now our paid, you know, our
Yeah.
sponsors and
Scores
those
15.
watching at home
Yeah.
don't get to see the action that they're tuning in for.
Okay.
Did you notice I have a whole bunch of towels on my lap?
Well,
It's
I
because
stopped
it's
actually
35
looking at
degrees.
you. I stopped looking at you and thinking about
Point.
you, actually, especially after that last explanation.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know people at home want to watch action, not
3
commercials.
plays 15.
Sean gets a quick point here to start off halftime. Scoreboard brought to you by Edel Handball at edelhandball.com.
serve.
Check them out right now. Or at the next break. Don't want you to miss that action.
That was a big setup for Sean. Instead, he hits it to the ceiling, right to the middle of the court. Is this ball broken, Dave?
No, the court is.
I don't know. Great get from, and there's some great speed from Sean. Best rally of the match here.
It's a side out.
Wow. Terrible ender right there from Sean Lenning, who did all the other things that he
15
needed to
plays
do
3.
in the rally. It just seems to me that Sean needs to take about a year off.
Side out.
The game maybe is just
A little
you know,
stale.
yeah. I know Moreno took some time off,
3
came back
plays
much
15.
stronger. You know, you just kind of get burned out. You play it.
Or 9 years off.
I like how John got out of Sean's way there.
Oh,
Side
what
out.
a left from John. And Dave, you talked to some of John's buddies here in New York, and they say he is really training.
15
Now,
plays
he's
3.
living in New York City now as opposed to Costa Rica or Miami, and
Point.
he is putting in the time. And, you know, Dave, you get out of this game what you put into it,
16 plays 3.
which we could say the same for the WP.
Side out.
Lenning
3
finds
plays
himself
16.
trailing 3-16.
Short. Second serve.
Iglesias needs just 9 points here to advance.
John has a really great fist return to
Side
the
out.
ceiling, Dave. And I know he lost to Robbie McCarthy 25-8, but he fisted a number of great serves from Robbie to the ceiling.
16 plays 3.
Really remarkable shot.
Wow, nice get right there from Lenning, who
Side out.
redirects it back to the left wall after it came off that corner from the right.
3 plays 16.
No, no. Not a good shot from John there. Another chance.
And Sean just gave up. I think Sean just
Side out.
discovered what that floor does to you when you go down to one knee.
But
And
he didn't need to go to a knee there. I mean,
yeah,
that
but
was
you see Sean
16
now
plays 3.
bending his knee and flexing it. I'm just telling you what Sean just discovered, how this floor is just completely different than any other club.
either I don't know anything about handball, Dave, or this is a Sean Lenning imposter that we've seen in the Race
Side out.
Great 3 season. I don't know how else to explain it. This is one of the greatest players I've
3
ever been
plays
on the court
16.
with. And throughout 4 events this year, we haven't seen even a glimpse of that.
Well, we did on that last shot.
Okay.
Point.
And that's about it. One shot's different than the consistent round-to-round play that we've expected from Sean
4 play
Lenning.
16.
He's just not engaged. And we want him to be. That's the thing.
Yeah, we're all rooting for him.
You try not to root for one player over another. Sean is somebody, and I'll just admit, I root for every single time he plays.
Well,
it just doesn't help. More I root for him, the worse he's getting.
Well, I don't root for guys to win or lose, but I just root for everyone to play well, and Sean's not
16
playing
plays
well.
4.
That was diplomatic.
I actually do root for the loss.
Okay.
Certain guys that are sitting to my right,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah. And left, as a matter of fact.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
See, Sean tries hard on certain shots and then gives up on other ones. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Nice dig right there from Iglesias.
Oh.
Sean goes for that elite corner kill, misses it.
Point.
We've seen him miss that same shot, Dave, 11 times in this match. Skips by 2 to 3 inches.
17 plays 4.
Iglesias now 8 points away from a
Short.
first round upset as a qualifier loser going into Sean Lenning.
And a lot of people, Dave, in the crowd are saying, wait a minute, I watched John Iglesias lose earlier today. What's he doing still on the court? And he could very well be on the court tomorrow against Nadia Alvarado.
Well, during the next break, I'll kind of explain the evolution of how all of that took place. But certainly
for that.
back in the old days, remember in the first race season, we would only invite 8 and qualify 4 and have a 12-man
Yeah, I missed those
bracket
yeah.
where the number 1 through 4 seeds were getting a bye into the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to wait for that timeout. I guess I'm just going to talk about it now. That is the biggest knock we had that first season was those other guys get to sit around and they have a free match. So they decided to, they meaning us, decided to give that extra round of play out there by allowing the qualifier loser to come in.
A lot of they thought that it wouldn't matter, that a 1 through 4 seed would never actually lose to a lucky loser, but we've seen it 3 times, twice this season, twice in the last event, and now maybe a 3rd time in 2 events.
Yeah, now it's happening at every tournament. And before, we never thought that a qualifier would ever qualify and then take out a player in the next round. And that's actually happening, the winner and the loser.
I mean, John Iglesias could be the first player to ever play the same player twice in the same event if he beats Nadia Alvarado tomorrow and Robbie McCarthy beats Luis Moreno. They would play twice in the same event. Now, Dave, I want to go to the rule book here. Would John have to beat Robbie twice? Because if they beat him in the semifinals, that would be split. So that's not fair to Robbie, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair, but
okay.
Yeah, that would be a first time. It almost happened last tournament. If Marcos would have won and Marcos could have played Dermot Nash again, if he would have defeated whomever he played in that next round, which I believe was Emmett. So if he would have defeated Emmett Michaud in Houston, he would have played Dermot Nash again.
True. And that almost happened.
It came close, actually. A couple points away from seeing that happen, and Sean misses that corner kill. Nope, got it.
He had the right spin on that one. He hit that one well.
4 plays 19.
Sean really thinking about this serve here. And I almost think, Dave, that maybe that's part of what Sean's going through mentally right now is that he's thinking too much.
Well, you know, what made Sean so great for so many years is that his instincts and just his split-second decision-making to make those amazing shots was always there. Now it seems like he's thinking about it. When you start struggling, Dave, as you know, you start gripping the bat a little bit tighter. And all of a sudden, those things that came so easily don't seem to happen for you.
4 plays 19.
You see John just looked at the front wall there when he gave Sean that huge back wall setup. Still reacted, though, to a pretty good shot from Sean, but Sean ends that rally with a great fly kill.
5 plays 19. Short. Second serve.
And what kind of serve is that?
Point. 6 plays 19. Held it.
Sean scoring a couple
Second
points
serve.
here. 3-point run. This could be a big setup for Sean. See what he does. The ball actually got a little tricky on that side wall. And just like a bad bounce on the floor, or just...
Well, John put a nice reverse on that, and it died a little bit on the floor.
19 plays 6.
Big setup here for John. Takes care of it. John
Point.
hits that inside out open stance kill, and you can't read it. He could go to the left corner there, he could go to the right corner, he could go straight down the right wall. So it's very effective. It also boxes your opponent out when you take that wide stance. Great shot from Sean.
Side out.
Sean's going to have one of those best comebacks in the history of his race tournaments or
6
just
plays
his
20.
pro tournament career right here.
Yeah, this would be the biggest comeback in the history of the race if Sean comes back to win this. Big setup. Oh, it's a good shot from John.
Sean goes to that
Point.
overhand power tomahawk, and you know Sean's had that trouble with his right shoulder, and it didn't look like there was any ailments whatsoever with that shot right there.
Maybe that shot will spur Sean Lenning
7 plays 20.
to some great things here. And that's the Sean Lenning we're used to seeing. Serve and shoot.
Point.
One of the great first strike artists in the game. And that's
8
really,
plays
Dave,
20.
what's eluded him. The inability to execute the first strike. And now all of a sudden, Sean Lenning is hitting the ball as hard as anyone in the event with both hands. Oh,
John's still in this. John might win this rally, and he doesn't. He hits the ball on the ground.
Nice
He
rally,
stayed
guys.
down instead of maybe gathering himself just a little bit. Iglesias
9 plays
stayed
20.
down there on that last shot from Sean. I think he should have stood up and tried to hit it normal. That was a nice rally from Iglesias, but nonetheless, this one's going to be replayed here.
Well, John was lucky there to catch Sean on the way in, because that would have been a huge setup for Sean.
I really think
9:20.
that I thought before that long last rally that Iglesias should call a timeout.
Now, Dave, John has played this match free of any kind of anxiety, but I can tell you that he will have a lot of nerves as he tries to score these last 5 points, and Sean Lenning will now finally freewheel it, and he's going to start
10
making some
plays
great
20.
shots. This match is far from over.
I agree with you. Just seeing with the way that Sean is
Point.
playing right now and the way that John is just really in defensive mode, that's because the extra
11 plays
MPHs
20.
that Lenning is putting on this ball, 11 to 20.
Well, you can feel the momentum right now
Start ball.
with Sean Lenning.
Second serve.
But, Dave, we saw John meditating in the server's box during last season. He might need some of that here. Oh,
Side out.
I don't think Sean needs to take that kind of chance there.
He's been pounding everything. I would stay with that hard
20
stuff.
plays 11.
Going soft right now, just I don't think is right. But Sean just seemed to have much more confidence with that 90 per hour thing that he's trying.
Good ceiling shot from John. Set up.
Now
And that's a
John-
good shot from John. It's a low risk shot. He drives the ball right at Sean's feet. Sean normally with
21
great
plays
hands,
11.
but wasn't able to pick that up.
Not that I'm a mathematician, but
Yeah.
every single point John scores right now is just one more away.
Yeah, it makes
and
it less
so much
likely.
harder for Sean to
Yeah.
make a comeback. Now there's 2 quick points for Iglesias.
22 plays 11. It's a short. Second serve.
Now Iglesias serving
You
at
have one more
23 to
left.
11. There might be a timeout call here from Sean Lenning.
We've really only seen one close match here, Dave, in this round of 16. That was Nadia Alvarado and Sean Lenning. No other player has scored more than 11 in the round of 16 in the other 6 completed matches. This one is at 11 right now.
Do you want to test your skills, Dave?
I do, always.
Well, make your plans for the great events that the USHA have. There's the USHA National Master Singles, Cincinnati, Ohio, starting March 13th. Then the Women's Classic in Austin, which you don't qualify for, but you can still go and watch as a fan the following weekend, where all the ladies are guaranteed at least 3 matches in the drop-down format that they have. Call the USHA or check out ushandball.org for more information. Also, the Master Doubles in Chattanooga, which isn't listed here on my cheat sheet, but that's something you should think about in April. Chattanooga is a wonderful place to go to. 23-11. Iglesias trying to get those last 2 points.
And here's a good opportunity to get one of them.
Overhit, another overhit. Another overhit, although not in a bad spot.
John slows it down, smart play.
Here's just a terrible shot from Lenning.
Point.
Both of these guys had multiple chances of getting that side out there. And now, match point for John Iglesias.
Match point, plays 11.
Here it is, big setup for John Iglesias.
You'll see a big celebration here for John.
Nice game, guys.
He's got to be feeling great about himself right now. That's his best ever win. John Iglesias takes down WPH number 3 ranked pro, Sean Lenning, and now Sean just is going to stay in the court. He's got to be bewildered, Dave. His second consecutive round of 16 loss.
He's going to definitely have to go back now and start thinking about what he's going to do with the sport of handball. He's now in serious jeopardy of not making Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And I don't think he solidified that because, of course, in Denver coming up, he could have a great showing and prove us all wrong. But he's certainly on the cusp now of not even getting an invite to Denver. I mean, it's getting close. That wraps up our broadcast for this day, Friday, in New York at the historic Athletic Club, where we saw some amazing handball today. Some for those that are rooting for guys like John Iglesias and Nadia Alvarado, but not so much for other handball camps out there like the Sean Lenning camp or the Dave Chapman camp or Aaron Garner's great family in San Antonio, Texas. Robbie McCarthy got past Aaron Garner today, 25-6. It was Luis Moreno in a tough match early on against Nikolai Nahorniak, but he does, as the number 1 seed, advance 25-18. The score was 25-11 just now. John Iglesias over Sean Lenning. Nadia Alvarado 25-23 against Dave Chapman, advancing to the quarterfinals. Emmett Peixoto over Kevin Kopchuk. That score was 25-7 earlier this evening. Paul Brady with a 25-6 score line against Luis Cordoba. And Armando Ortiz defeats Andy Nett just a little bit earlier, 25-10. And of course, Dave, your match against Mike Schneider. You are the number 2 seed in this tournament. You defeated Schneider 25-3. And now the matchups, as we look at the upper bracket for tomorrow's quarterfinal, that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's go down with the lower bracket just because it starts at 9. Dave Fink, you will be on the court first against Mondo Ortiz, possibly one of the hardest draws in the tournament. Second only to Paul Brady having to face Emmett Peixoto, also in that bottom bracket at 11 o'clock in the morning. In the upper bracket, it's going to be Luis Moreno versus Robbie McCarthy, and then Nadia Alvarado Jr. will be going up against John Iglesias at 12 p.m. So the first match tomorrow morning, Eastern Time, 9 a.m., Dave Fink, Mondo Ortiz, and it goes up to that Luis Moreno, Robbie McCarthy match. Dave, you know, I look at these quarterfinals, and I was thinking, wow, what a terrible road this is for a guy like Emmett Peixoto has to play Paul Brady. But then I look over and see, well, the number 1 seed, Luis Moreno, has to play Robbie McCarthy. The number 2 seed, you have to go up against a very hot Mondo Ortiz. And then John Iglesias and Nadia Alvarado. John Iglesias defeated Sean Lenning. He might have the easier road out of everybody, but then that means that Nadia has to go up against a hot John Iglesias. So everybody has it tough.
There's just no easy wins on the Race for 8 tour, particularly once you get down to the quarterfinals. I mean, to make it to that Final Four is very, very difficult, particularly, Dave, when you've got the top 2 players in Ireland, the top 5 players in the United States. Everybody's hungry. Everybody wants to make it to Salt Lake City, and they want to win matches on the way. And you're going to see some fireworks tomorrow, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some real great matches.
Well, our broadcast begins early. 9 o'clock in the morning we'll be here. I thought maybe we might have a women's round of 8 tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a possible webcast. I doubt that's going to take place, but we will be here at 9 o'clock Eastern time. That'll be 6 o'clock Pacific to start off the men's quarterfinals, and then throughout the day we will have women's semis, and then the men's semis later in the evening. That should be fun. So get ready for some explosive handball, and we're talking about really one of the best draws in the history of the game, and it'll be here live at racefor8.com. Tomorrow we will have a surprise for you when you tune in. So make sure to be here as we have more great handball from the historic New York Athletic Club. For Chris Grad, Linda Manning, Maria DeVincent, as well as Dave Fink, my name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have more action tomorrow at racefor8.com.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home.
Okay. Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards!
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard.
Oh, no?
Okay,
Yeah.
here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.